next matchup, we're going to bring you an NWL game. Christopher Sykes, Joey Mallick. I believe the players are already set down and over the board. Chris Sykes played Joey last round and got a big, big victory. I think they're going to play all four of their games together against one another today, as they're so far ahead of the rest of the field. Let's go ahead and get to it. Let's get some tiles on the board. Let's play some Scrabble. Oh, I'm so excited for this one. All right, off to the races here. ACEEHNO, the pull for Joey Mallick. I don't see any bingos here, and there will be some scoring opportunities, but this is going to be a fun turn, I think. I don't think this is one that Joey Mallick will play very quickly. Will, what are you looking to do here as Joey Mallick?
It's tough because you've got some good bingo tiles here, maybe one too many vowels on your rack. Definitely ways to use that CH combination, and Joey has just arranged his tiles into what I was about to suggest, which was Hans. Scores well, but you hate to come away from this turn with just EO as the leave.
All right, so Hans is indeed going to be the play for Joey Mallick. Achene, ACHENE, another option, same score, but plays off one more vowel. So I think that's a missed opportunity for Joey on that opening turn. But Hans, 28 points, puts Joey Mallick ahead by exactly that margin. And ADNORUW, the rack for Christopher Sykes, looking to respond. Josh Sokol, what are you looking at doing here as Chris Sykes?
Yeah, Chris Sykes was definitely hoping for a T here for untoward outdrawn. Want to get rid of the WU here. I wonder if the C hook on Hans is ever going to come up. Never mind. There are no WC words that I can think of. Oh, snowcats. Yeah, we're definitely going to see snowcats later on this game.
That just blocks Stounded, though. So now Joey's going to have to think a little harder.
Oh, wow. Yeah, big block there from Chris Sykes. Wood, he takes away Stounded. Joey Mallick now no playable bingos, but a 9-point lead, 28-19, DDEOSTU. And I think we're going to see a pretty straightforward move here. DOUT feels fine on top of Wood, making duh and Oda. Will, do you see any compelling reason not to play DOUT here?
No, it seems good. Definitely want to come away from this turn using one of those two Ds and the U. That play accomplishes that. The nice thing also is that if you miss your bingo draw as Joey and you draw some high point consonants, you are setting up your S in a way that maybe you can score really well to that triple, that top middle triple of the board, with 6 tile plays hooking that S if he draws high scoring consonants. So definitely like this play for Joey.
That puts him ahead 46-19, but Chris Sykes has gone into the bag, found 3 O's and a blank. So no playable bingos here. I think we're just looking to play off 2 of the O's. The best way to do that is the sneaky little Toco, TOCO for 8. Any other plays that jump out to you, or is this got to be Toco?
No, I actually think New is better. He's playing it. I don't know if he's spotted Toco. I think he wants to keep the board way more open for his bingo tiles. He's setting up his N hook very aggressively. This does have its drawbacks, but I think the aggression and taking, 3 fewer points here is worth it. I really like this decision.
It's interesting. I totally agree with Josh's instinct. I'm just wondering, though, the board on Chris's next turn after Toco is likely to have more opportunity than it looks on this turn. But at the same time, I really do not fault taking an active role in shaping the board the way you want. So I might have opted to be patient and just play Toco and just put Joey in a tough spot, knowing that if he opens, I'm ready to strike. But very stylistic choice.
Wow.
I just love the shape of the board after Toco. I love how Joey has no options, but we're going to see 2 vowels and then 2 other vowels, and then Chris Sykes wasting no time. He's got 1 playable bingo, another, or 1 playable double-double, I should say. Tons of bingos, but another, the only double-double, 90 points. So this goes back to the strength of that NOO play. Set up the N and then crush it. He's going to cash in huge. 90 points for the double-double. Wow, big swing. And Chris Sykes surges ahead, 114 to 51.
We need a DJ Khaled sound effect for when somebody plays another one.
Whoa! All right. What is? Oh, this is interesting. Again, I don't know. I might have sacrificed a few points here to play YA instead to set up a better lane for myself if I were Joey. I'm not really sure about just AY. I guess it's fine.
Scores a little better with that H, and there already is that lane he just made with AI, so maybe he's content with that. But yeah, interesting.
Yeah, very hasty decision though.
I think you need to try to open things a little bit better there. If you're Joey, ADEST is a great leave. You need to make sure that your bingos are going to come down. After your opponent plays AI and then AY, like, you're going to block. At least I feel like that decision was, if nothing else, a little rushed. Just grab the equity and move on. But you got to think about board dynamics here too. All right, EIJORTY for Christopher Sykes here. And yeah, what is the psychology going through a player's head after you see AI for 5 and then AY, Will?
Well, the most psychological move that Chris could make here is to play Joey's name somewhere. He has to play Joey here to get inside Joey's head. No, just kidding. The psychology, as you allude to, Matt, when you see just AI go down, AY, I should say. Actually, we can even take it 2 turns back. Joey's last 2 moves have been AI and AY. So you definitely know that he's got 5 tiles he really likes, or else he would have likely tried to play more. So knowing that, it definitely informs your decision-making. I'm just not really seeing a great way for him to, oh my God, is this it? Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Almost a tremendous unforced lexicon error there by Chris. You see him laughing about it, Josh. Wow, that was close to a blunder.
Oh my gosh. I for sure thought he had played that. I don't think Chris Sykes plays much CSW, if any. It's very surprising to see Jay out on the board. Maybe he's been watching the stream.
So Joy, what he's looking to play here, yeah, there weren't many great plays that he had to obstruct the bingo line. I kind of liked YER above AY. YER just takes 1 back hook, a K. That would force Joey to bingo back hooking AI with the last letter of his bingo and expose a triple word square. So you're going to hold that J, thwack a triple if he does bingo on you. I think YER was a really awesome option there. But Joy, I mean, that makes a ton of sense. EIRT is a great leave. You're scoring a bunch of points, and your opponent almost definitely does not have the O to hit you back because of the previous 2 plays and the context around him. He's been fishing and fishing and fishing. You're not going to fish with an O, I don't think. So anyway, Joy the play, stalled the response, and Chris Sykes now has found a very nice rack, EEGINRT. He will be bingoing this turn with one of the 2 7s in that rack, either integer or its anagram treeing. So back and forwards, Joey hits a baby bingo. Chris will hit a baby bingo back and pull back ahead in this one. And whoa, ABGIKNW is a neat little wing back, a neat little pull for Joey Mallick there. What? This is going to be fun, I think. This is going to be a fun one.
The immediate thing that comes to my mind is that BAWK is a valid word. And if you're like many Scrabble players that do not study the definitions of words, it's going to be sorely tempting for Joey to play balking. It just kind of looks like a word, right? BAWKING. Balk is a valid word. Depending on where Chris plays, it's possible that it might be unlikely if Chris plays something ending in ing forming AIN, AIN. That's going to take away the spot I see where balking would play on top of the AY on another there. It's just, if I'm in Joey's shoes, I would be thinking about that right now.
And we've already seen Joey Mallick earlier in this tournament take a 4, throw the ing on the back of it against Chris Sykes and get away with it. He played PEANING earlier, and Chris did not hold it. But that was a different situation. Chris had just lost a turn on a phony bingo, and Joey instantly played it. So we'll see if he takes a play out of his playbook and does exactly the same thing. I don't think the option's going to stay available, though. Yeah, treeing beginning to come down here like we thought was going to happen. And that is going to eliminate the chance at balking. If Chris Sykes had chosen the higher scoring integer and IT, this would be a different situation. I'd be very curious to see what Joey does. But treeing the play from Chris Sykes, I like this. Puts him ahead 210 to 148 and takes away any of the exciting opportunities for balking.
Yeah, this is pretty crazy, honestly. Like, I was expecting to see integer come down, and then I don't know what would have happened. Would Joey have played balking and git? Would Chris Sykes have challenged that? That it could have been a repeat of what we saw earlier, but treeing for the 3-point sacrifice just blocks the spot that Joey already had for the phony, and now waking is just super easy. So I think both players, or one of both players, has avoided a ticking time bomb in this position.
So waking is 60 points for Joey Mallick. He's going to basically get a bingo score back, but he can't be thrilled to leave that bottom triple word line available. You have to take the points here, of course, but with that big Z pull from Chris Sykes, he will be scoring either 54 FUZE or 57 FUZEE. But okay. So FUZE versus FUZEE. Chris Sykes going back and forwards, and I think he's going to play the E, just take the extra points here. Looking at vowel consonant ratio, we've got a balanced pool, so just kind of do whichever one here. I like taking points in a situation like this, but you could definitely go either way there. Joey Mallick, BCOPPRS on his rack. And he's going to have to take a philosophical, or make a philosophical decision about this game. Do I play smaller, bop, through the O and noon plays, just play the B and the P for 20, and hold COPRS with a floating E available? That looks pretty strong. Or go ahead and play very long right now, boppers or coppers, play through the E and treeing for 32. Do I want points now? Or do I want to bring my rack closer to a bingo? CPORS with a floating E, a floating T, looks so promising. Can kind of split the difference and play pre-op through the E and treeing as well. Josh, between these options, what are you thinking here?
I love the play of bop. Looks like Joey is just going to take the points here. I think that core CORPS leave is just so strong on this board. And even if you don't draw into a bingo, you're going to be able to do something nice, maybe with the J, enjoy, job, something like, or not job, but something with JO. Yeah, I like this choice as well.
All right, so Bopper's the play, 240 to 267, and Chris Sykes has drawn into hot garbage. Will, do you see anything for him to do?
This is a pretty gross. What did you say, Matt? The exact
Hot
verbiage.
garbage?
It's hot garbage. Yeah, that's pretty apt. I think it's interesting too, that G of waking, to a point that Josh likes to make pretty often, that the G is just not that great of a tile. If it was such a good tile, it would be a little bit easier to make plays through that G to the triple word score. But you can see that's sat open now for several turns. And looking at Joey's rack, he may play MIG, I guess, through that G, but it could sit open several more turns at this rate.
Vims or Timid both make sense, but he's going to play Timid here. I think I like this. You've got to just try to break up as much of this rack as you can. Go find an E, go find an R, go find an N. All of that's going to help you. Or try to find that blank if you can. A big draw for Chris here. He's got to get out of these unbalanced racks and keep the scoring going. What's he going to pull? ITV. He's pulled another V.
Oof.
There's an N, an O, and another N. Yikes. Not the draw Chris was hoping for. And Joey quickly dropping MIGG, holding CESX. That's an awesome play for him to keep really solid tiles and put the scoring pressure back on. Goodness. I mean, I might just exchange my entire rack right here. I maybe hold an N since I've got the last two, but I don't want to be slugging through V's and double N's the rest of this game. This turn sucks. That draw was one of the worst thing that could have happened. Will, what do you do? Do you exchange? Do you try to score some points just to nurse your lead? Like, how do you get out of this mess?
Yeah, I'm sorely tempted to exchange a lot of tiles here. I think it's tempting maybe to leave. If you're going to exchange, you might want to keep some kind of nice little nucleus together for next turn, like IN or IT or something. I would be tempted to throw everything back and go hard for that second blank, because I really need to get my hands on that here, knowing that if Joey has kind of an average turn on his next turn, I'm going to be trailing on the scoreboard almost no matter what if I'm Chris here.
I don't know, Josh. Would you play Vino? Would you play Ova? Would you exchange? Tell us what your thought process is here.
Well, people who know me know that I do not exchange pretty much, but here I would. The unseen letters are just so much better than what Chris Sykes has. There are those 2 S's, 3 R's, the T, the L's, the A's, the E's, the blank. The only bad tile in that pool is the Q and maybe that 1 U. I think the unseen letters are so good that you really need to race for what's left of the bingo tiles with your small lead. So I would exchange here for sure.
I don't know. I think I'd exchange 6 down to the N here and see where that takes us. If I draw the Q, I've got QI bailouts next to Timid and see. But this is a very challenging turn. Vino makes sense in either spot. Exchanging makes sense here too as well. But I see a lot of good stuff in the bag. I want to go get it. He's going to exchange 7. It looks like he's thinking about changing all 7. You've got to hold an N. You're going to end up drawing vowels if you exchange all 7.
It looks like he's considering on the fly, like he's... Oh, he's kept an O. Interesting.
Oh, maybe J-O he wants to keep in play. I'm not really sure why you keep the O here. There's too many vowels, but we'll
That's
see.
okay.
He's got to dodge. Yeah, it's not the worst. Ooh!
Whoa!
Oh my goodness!
All right, baby.
Oh my goodness!
Now we're cooking with
Will,
gas.
explain this play.
Well, so this is a beautiful play by Joey. He's played Jeu for a score of just 20 points here. The beautiful thing about it, though, is he has the X, and there is no other hook to this word. J-E-U-X is valid. Of course, Joey could have scored very well by tacking the X on this move, but it would have given Chris really easy counterplay to the X, just hitting a simple play to the triple in the lower left part of the board. So by leaving the X off, he's denied Chris the opportunity to get those easy points and hugely increased his own score when he plays fix, very likely, on his next turn, hooking that X. Very, very clever play by Joey here.
Sneaky setup, and Joey played it so fast too. That's awesome heads up stuff. Back to Chris, who now trails by 10 after several poor pulls in a row. He will have playable bingos here, but all of them are scary for one reason or another. Highest scoring option plays through the T at the top of the board. That is Detonate for 64, or Out Eaten also plays for 64. Neonate or Acetone play as 7s, making TE on the right side. Those score 62 or 60. And plays through the S in Boppers score 59. Earstone or its anagram Resonate. So all of the bingos will put you ahead, but not ahead by a bunch. And you just threw back what I call it hot garbage. So you're going to draw that stuff back out. Is he just going to play his rack in alphagram order?
That was so like funny.
Almost.
Okay, so Acetone, what he's choosing, he likes putting the C here, I think, because it makes it impossible to overlap with a bingo of Joey's own. So Acetone for 60, the play for Chris Sykes, and Joey ACEFISX gets a number of big punishes now. He set up his X, but he can play fix next to Acetone for 59 instead. And that's, I think, what we're going to see here.
Yeah, I think he's going to put down fix and JEUX and then switch it just to tell Chris Sykes, this is what I did last turn. You had no idea. And then he's going to play it in the more defensive position. Or maybe not. Maybe he's a bit more serious and he's just going to play it next to the ETO. It's a very interesting position. Unfortunately, Chris Sykes has just drawn the Q. So after this play, Joey Mallick's going to be ahead by almost 10 points. And Chris Sykes might have to just drop his Q. This is getting really interesting.
This should be a good game, down to the wire. Yeah, FIX and JEUX is 57. You'd love to hit your own setup, but you have to take away the triple word square on the side, score 59. That's what Joey's done. FIX comes down, ACES, a nice leave. We'll see if he's able to dodge the V's and the I's in the pool. 1 V would be okay for him. 2 V's would be terrible. Let's see what he's got. As AEINRRQ, the rack for Chris Sykes. And I think we're just going to see a chi bomb in one of 2 places. Wow, what a great pull for Joey Mallick.
So now Chris would be sorely tempted to just dump that Q, knowing he's got a great leave to pair with the T of treeing, right? Trainer, retrain, that's going to become bingos a lot. But Joey's now drawn a beautiful set of tiles that's going to beat him to the race to get that down. I guess there is still the S of boppers as a possibility depending on where Joey plays and what Joey picks. But things looking pretty good for Joey here.
But there's Trank. There's Trank.
Yeah,
Trank would have solved everything, solved all the issues.
Wow.
Oh my goodness, what a miss. Yeah, that's such a hard play to spot. I think you need to play Trank here for 28 from the T and treeing. Oh my goodness.
Trank did everything you need to do. It holds EIN, which isn't a great leave in a vacuum, but with 5 vowels, 10 consonants unseen, and the threat of bingos, oh man, Trank did everything you needed to do. I think maybe a rushed turn there for Chris, and it's going to cost him the game. Oof, scariest now on Joey's rack. He's already seen it, and he's wasting no more time before he plays this one. Scariest is 62, and we'll put Joey ahead 414 to 366.
But
wow.
Joey has to avoid maybe those 2 V's.
Oh my God!
This is very
LLOVV.
I think he still has enough, but he has Vav for 9. Essentially, I think that is what is going to determine the game because he has Vox as well from to the OX. I think he still has enough to win this game, but this is a scary draw.
Wow, yeah, Joey's got to be shaking his boots.
Sorry, any play to that E of scariest is going to block Vav. So that's going to start. That's going to be where Chris is looking to start if he's got anything that goes all the way. I guess he doesn't really have an easy way. No, he can play bear on top there.
Hang on. I've got to interject. He's got B boppers for 34, and that blocks Vav too.
That's amazing.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, if everything goes out the way Quackle thinks, BEAR above scariest, the obvious play for Chris Sykes, and then VOX, the response from Joey. Chris can go out with iron through the O and noon with that IRN combination, and will lose by 4.
So yeah, this is so close to being a win for Chris Sykes, but yet so far, what a crazy endgame.
Wow, just crazy. That's amazing. I mean, Trank would have been so compelling. I'm actually surprised that Chris played Chi. I get the rationale there, blocking that triple in the upper right of the board. I would have been sorely tempted to just drop my Q, but coming up with Trank would have been such a big difference. That being said, Joey would still be in decent shape if Chris drew V's, right? So by playing more tiles, 2 more tiles Chris would have played by playing Trank instead of Chi. Maybe he picks one or both of those 2 V's, and he's the one that's hurting. And Joey also would have had plays pluralizing Tranks that put him in good position going into the end game. So it wouldn't have been like an auto win, but it certainly would have made things so interesting.
All right, so Chris Sykes trying to slow play here with just Ab. I don't know if he spotted Vav or he's hoping maybe Joey is missing Vav. The thing here is, okay, after this, I think 392 to 414. The thing here is that Chris Sykes, very, very unconventional sort of game for him because he's super low on time. Both of these players very, very fast, but Joey just had the speed this game. Chris Sykes had those really awkward racks mid-game after Fuse. So he was really low on the clock, even just right after Scariest. I think he had under 5 minutes to figure this endgame out, which is a very, very complicated one. So he's just hoping here, I think, that some complications arise and he's able to go out maybe in 3 and score as much as possible. But I don't think it's going to be enough.
Yeah. There's no actual winning sequence unless you induce a blunder from Joey, and this in-game sequence looks so straightforward. Like Vox, just play Vox. Chris threatens just 1 out, and that's through the S in Bopper's Rinser, and just Vox alone is enough to outrun Rinser. So this is Joey's game, unless he does something wild. Yeah, Vav is another fine play for him to make. I think it achieves the same exact outcome. But I wonder now that Joey doesn't have any scoring opportunities or scoring tiles, should Chris go out? The answer is no. Chris shouldn't go out. But he still can't win the game.
Go ahead, Josh.
Yeah, this is what Chris was hoping for, something like this where he can go out in multiple turns, but it's just not enough. Joey's gotten rid of all of his clunky Vs, both of his clunky Vs, and there's really just neither. Chris Sykes also doesn't have any scoring tiles. So yeah, this is over.
Yeah, I was going to just add, if the clocks were reversed, you might see some shenanigans to be able to, if Chris was the one with 15 minutes or 14 minutes on his clock or a huge amount of time on his clock, now would be the time for him to make a surprising move. The problem is Joey's got tons of time to figure out any gambit that Chris makes here, and Joey is really, really good in endgame situations. So it's just it's not in the cards for Chris here, but man, what a game.
Yeah, so he's just going to go out with Rinser. No reason to slow play this. He's low on time, and Rinser going to score 7 points, catch Joey with 4 on his rack times 2 is 8. The final in this one, 423 to 407 in favor of Joey.